Alright guys, well, working on the Dodge again today. Well, Ram. But it's Christmas Eve, and of course, where I live it's 70 degrees, and tomorrow, Christmas Day, is supposed to be 75, so that's all nice and fun, but it's extremely windy. But in this video, I'm installing this. It's the AUX switch panel, which comes in the 2500s and up trucks. They're not an option in the 1500s as far as I know. But even then, their implementation, I kind of don't like it because in the factory, with the way these are in the factory, when you press the button to turn it on, it activates the ground side, not the power side. But I got this. I bought this separate from the kit, but then I bought this off eBay. It's a switch box, and it takes the signals from this, puts them into here from, you know, a T-harness right here, and then this just goes straight to the battery. It's got 5 circuits, and you can power whatever you want. And this actually does the power side switch, not the ground side switch. And I got this from a company. I got it from eBay, but I would recommend buying it from their website because it's cheaper. airdelete.com, and they specialize in deleting air suspension off the Ram and Jeep vehicles, because when those systems go bad, they're thousands and thousands of dollars to fix. Even if you just need shocks, those shocks are over $1,000 a piece. So they make a kit which rounds, you know, their kits are a couple grand or so, but it replaces everything with standard struts. So, but this is really easy to install. This goes on the Firewall. I'll show you where that goes, and then this just replaces your factory panel. It's really windy out here, which is why I'm not really recording out here. It mounts right here to the Firewall, so I'm going to have to move my Flowmaster emblem, move the Flowmaster brain box down, and I plan on going through right there. That should be plastic, so that should be fairly easy to cut a hole for that grommet in. And then in here, there's a little rubber tray down here. Just pop that tray up, and there's 2 screws. Take those screws out and pull this whole panel out, and then you can get the switch panels right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a light and shine up where that grommet is that I'm going to be taking out, and we'll go from there. I went this route on switches because I don't want to drill a bunch of holes in the dash, and it's a factory, you know, look, and I already have rock lights that I'm going to install. I want to install some lights in the back for backup lights. I might install some pods somewhere in the front, but I don't know yet. It's 5 different switches for 5 things. Who knows what I'll do, but I might even install bed lights. I would like to have the factory bed lights where, you know, you have the switch in the back where you can press the button and do all that stuff. But I might just go aftermarket. As much as I would like to have the integration of the factory system, just depends on if I feel like running a bunch of wires. Alright, let's see if I can get you where you can see this. Right there. There's the hole right there. I'm going to get up there and take those off. Those look about 14, maybe 15. I'm going to pull that out and put it on the bench, and I'm either going to use these big grommets that I have, which are nice, or I'm just going to get standard grommets and put standard grommet hole in it. Alright, after spending a decent amount of time with a hand tool because they're nylock nuts, really should have brought my electric ratchets from work. Here it is. So just need to drill a hole straight in the center where that foam is. Probably going to go from the back side, somewhere around right back here. It says drill a 1/2 inch hole, which I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. I bought these grommets, but these are a lot bigger than I thought they were. So I don't think I'm going to use these. Well, I abandoned the grommets. after you drill a 1/2-inch hole and you put the grommet in, which actually fits good, you can't the cable in. I'm just going to put it in like it is. It's got, this is plastic, plus it's got a protective sheath over it. And then afterwards I can put some, I don't have any here now. Well, maybe I do, but it's probably all dried up. Put some RTV on here. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and bolt this back on the truck. I'm not going to put you through that because I don't have any power tools here that I can get up in there. So it's going to be a second for that. But then I'm going to figure out if I'm going to mount this box on the firewall like it says, or if I'm going to twist it around and bolt it to the battery tray. And you see what's better off. Alright, I have that back in it. And then up here, right there, there's hole number 2. There's hole number 1. Right there. And I went black paint in a hole right there, and I put black paint on it. Basically, how I did that is I just literally took the box, brought it over here, you know, kind of lined it up where I thought I could put it and still take the lid off. And those are the 2 spots that I found that I could put it and still be able to take the lid off. Now, how I did that was this. 90 degrees, doesn't sound very healthy drill. I wish I had stubby drill bits though, because even though I could actually get the drill in here and get it where I needed to versus my full-size drill, I still had to drill basically at a 90-degree angle to the slope that is on the firewall. The firewall slopes back, and I had to come in and drill 90 degrees. I'm hoping this hole right here lines up, because it, you know, it's kind of walking all over the place before I could get it to actually drill. If I had a small stubby drill bits, that would have been, you know, I would have had no issue. I did take this ground cable off over here, so I'll put that back. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mount this up, run the wires through the firewall, and I will show you where it's at. I did have to take this cable off too. The instructions mentioned, you know, this cable goes right here. And it mentioned, you know, you probably have to pull this cable off and route it underneath it, so that's what I'm going to do. I drilled the holes. This comes with 2 self-tappers. I drilled the holes with, I don't know what pilot bit, but the pilot bit was a little too small, so then I just manually took the self-tapper and just pushed on it real hard and just slowly turned the wrench until I could break through the hole. So, yeah, I might put another coat on that. Nah, it's fine. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and mount the box and run the wires through, and then I'll come back and show you how I'm going to route it through the inside, which is going to be a little tricky because that comes out right above the steering column and right next to the brake pedal, and you don't want to run wires over a steering column or over a brake pedal. So looks like there's a slot between the steering column where the steering column bolts up to the big aluminum plate that you can run wires through, and I think I'm going to run wires through that plate and run it over to the center and then run it down. So I'll be back. Alright, so what I expected to happen did happen when I drilled the holes. This hole over here shifted in too much. So got my Dremel and Dremeled this side in and that side in on the box, and now it's good. You know, self-tapper screws, so I'm not too terribly confident, but you know, it should hold. But if I ever have to take it back out again and put it back in, you know, I plan to get nutserts and put nutserts in there, but I'm going to have to get, I'm going to definitely have to get some stubby drill bits so I can get down in here and get the nutserts put in. But I already ran the wires through at the bottom. You're not going to see it. The wires are ran through at the bottom. A half-inch hole is fine, but it is a pain in the butt to get all 5 wires through there, because you have to put one end through, push it all the way through, so it's just the wire. Shove the other side in, then shove the other one in, shove the other one in. There's barely enough room to get all that in there. But now that that is there, I can actually, should be able to put this back. Yeah, I can put that back. Well, I'll probably put it down here. It really doesn't need to be up here. I'll figure out where to put that in a minute, though. Right now, though, these wires can stay here on top of the brake booster. These wires need to go to the battery. But I'm going to go inside and show where these wires come through. Alright, there's where the wires come through somewhere on your screen. Right there. That should be everything. Alright, and as you see, it's kind of in the middle all over the place. So, up through here, you see a bolt there and a bolt there, possibly, maybe. Up around here, through the back side, there is, you know, a gap. I'm going to run the wires up that gap, and then run it straight over here where this harness is, zip tied to the harness. And then I'm going to run it behind this vent right here, and that should bring it right up over here to where I can plug it up. So I'm going to go ahead and route all that stuff, and I'll be back. Alright, before I actually do all that stuff down there, I want most of my wire outside. Because if I ever have to take, you know, that off on the outside, I want to be able to have most of the wire outside so I can cut it and then put like a connector on it. I like the connector way up here, but I wish there was a connector down on the box itself. So I want to run all my wire in here, and then outside have my bundle of wire so I can have, you know, room to crimp connectors and stuff onto it. So to take this panel off, if you don't have the console, it's super easy. You pull this rubber pad out, and there's 2 bolts up there, and then the rest of it's just clipped in. I checked in there because some of them have a bolt in there. I didn't see one. So take those 2 out, and then this whole panel pulls off. Alright, once you take those screws out and start pulling, I literally just took this up here, pulled it back, and started pulling it till the side started popping up, then pulled on the side, and then pulled on the bottom. The main clips, there's some metal clips that are some main clips, but actually, no, actually all of them were plastic. Never mind, they're all plastic clips. And then back here, you get to see the options you didn't have. That's the connection for the 4-wheel drive selector, and over there, behind all that tape, is the plug-in for the 120 volt outlet. I'm pretty sure anyway. The wires are pretty dinky, but I'm pretty sure that's for the 120 volt outlet. Or maybe a controller for the 20 volt outlet, I don't know. But anyway, and there's the trailer brake connector right here, which I do have the trailer brake controller ordered finally. I finally ordered it because I'm getting to the point where the Jeeps are fixing to be going again, and hopefully soon. And I'll be towing Jeeps again, so I'd like to have trailer brakes on this. But anyway, this is what we're looking for. There is a Phillips there, and 2 Phillips down here, and this whole panel pops out. But anyway, I'm going to bring my wires. I think you can get the wires through here. I'm going to try to bring the wires up through here, but I want to get the switch panel in here. Alright, there's the old and the new. There is some clips on the side. You just take and pry the pieces of plastic back and push it back. Now, in order to get this off, there's 4 tabs. And you just go in there with a flat blade and pop the tabs back, and I'm going to go ahead and swap that over. There we go, they're swapped over. Now all you got to do is snap it back in and screw it down. Ooh, that wind. Sorry about the wind, guys. Can't do anything about it. But I already got everything all ran inside where I want it to. And this is how much slack I have left over on the outside. So they said in the instructions that they had put enough slack in it where you can put it practically anywhere. And that is true. If you want to take this box and actually mount it up here somewhere, like make a tab, a bracket going off here, there's an unused bolt spot there, you could mount it beside, put a bracket off the fuse box and mount it beside the fuse box, you know, mount it off the front support. Yeah, you can do it. There's plenty, but there's enough room where you have room to play. So they were definitely not lying. I didn't think they would lie, but I didn't know exactly how much room I would have. Now let me show you how it is inside. There it is. Comes out of there. I have it up here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but there's that little hole there is for the clutch pedal, for the bar for the clutch pedal. Over here, there is another part of it that just hangs down and is open on both sides. I ran a zip tie around there, then I ran it up, like I said, through here between those two bolt holes, up above the bracket. Then I brought it over here, zip tied it to the throttle and brake wires, and then brought it behind here. I can't even see the camera, so I don't know what you're seeing. Okay. I brought it behind this bracket up here. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see. But behind this bracket, where the brake controller would be, factory brake controller, I ran it behind that bracket and up in here. Again, you can't really see it. But I put it behind that metal bracket and up through here. And it comes out right here, right behind this 12-volt outlet. And then I just brought it over here, zip tied it to this metal, plastic pin, connected everything together, wrapped up the excess, zip tied them back on top of each other, connected the T connector, which is right here, right there. That's the T connector. One side's the vehicle, one side's this T connector. Connected that together. And now this connects to the back of the controller, which I've already put in the controller. I don't know if you can see it. I can't see what's on the screen, but I put the controller back on. Everything's all plugged up, or everything's all hooked up. So now that is ready to go back on. I'm just going to do a little bit more. I think I'm going to put one more zip tie down here on the two bolts that go through the firewall. I'm going to zip tie the cable to there lightly so it doesn't move down. And then I'm going to bundle up the extra wire up there, bolt that down. And then the only other thing I have to do is connect the positive battery cable and figure out where I'm going to put the control box for my exhaust. So I'm going to put that back on, plug everything up, put stuff up there, connect the battery, show all that, and then I'll go through the programming. Alright, everything is on besides programming. So, at the box there, I was able to remount my Flowmaster up here, so it's got, you know, good signal. I have enough room to get the box lid on and off. There's the cables right there. Contemplating on putting some tape on it or not. Probably will, just so if I can find electrical tape. I know I got fabric tape, but I'll put something over that. And then I got the bundle of excess right there. And then obviously the other end goes in through there. The power wire goes down through here, through this little convenient cutout, and the air box right here goes over through here. Have it zip tied there, come down through here, over here, and right there. And I cut it out right here. I'll fix it up later on if I feel like it. Shouldn't be too big of a problem. Go inside. As I've already showed, I don't really want to show it again, but I got it running down through there, over there, and there it is. Now, let me just get set up for the programming, and I'll be back. Alright, well, I haven't been able to get it to pop up. I've programmed it, let it sit for a while. I still haven't been able to get it to pop up in either the radio or the EVIC. But I'll still go through the programming steps because sometimes it takes, you know, it takes a drive so many miles, or it takes so many key cycles, or it takes so many days for this stuff to populate. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to program it, even though I don't have not had success yet for it to pop up. The switches do work. However, I would like the customization of being able to either get in the EVIC or the radio. Now, this is the smaller radio. Apparently, you can get the aux switches in the smaller radio, but you know, most of the ones I see are in the big radio. But I've heard that they both work as long as it's a touchscreen radio. But anyway, the options that you have are latching, which is what they are now, are momentary. So if you have an air horn or train horn, you can hold it down and you let go of it and it stops. You also have a memory function where it will, if you have, let's say, these two switches on, you turn the vehicle off, you go away, you come back, you turn the vehicle back on, these switches automatically come back on. So it's got a memory. And I think that's it. There might be one other option that I'm not remembering. But anyway, come in here, come to AlfaOBD, click RAM, body computer, and then click your vehicle, which is, for me, it's going to be a 2018. Select connect. Connect to the body computer, come down here to the hood. Click the hood. Come up here, and you're going to go all the way down to the bottom and select car configuration. Come down here to the menu option. It's easier to look. Press go to AUX. Now, here's where I'm selecting two options based on what I've been reading. Come up here to configure aux switches and PTO. 5 switches with PTO. Because it's just 4 switches, 5 switches, or 6 switches. So 5 switches PTO. Click start. I already have it learned, so it's not going to let me do it. No change necessary, but you should say not available, or not programmed, or no aux switches used. So start. We'll go through a little programming. Done. The other one I did is customer set menu, auxiliary switches CSM present. And now this has either 1 through 4, 2 through 5, or 2 through 5. Now you can go, I have it on 1 to 4. Now this is the radio wise. This will let you select options for only switches 1 through 4, and 5th will just operate like it is now. No way around that. Or you can do 2 through 5, which will do 2 through 5, and then 1 will operate just normal. I have it on 1 through 4, so just 1 through 4, program it, it's already selected, but go ahead and program it again, boom, you know, it should be programmed. I might come back out here with my laptop. If it's not programmed, you know, sometime next week, I'll probably come out here with my laptop and try it again, and I'll come back, because I don't think this video is going to be uploaded, but I'll come back and then go through that if that, you know, the laptop fixes it, because the laptop has been my saving grace on fixing some of the AlfaOBD issues. But yeah, so should be all you have to do. Another option that I've been seeing is, for some people, ECU. Some people have enabled ECU config for IPC configuration features. Mine is already on, but some people haven't been needing to enable this to get one of the features to start, so that might be something else to enable. Now again, it might not work immediately, like the remote start. When I programmed my remote start, I spent 3 hours fiddling around trying to figure out why it wasn't working, programming, unprogramming, tracing wires, make sure the wires, I didn't pinch a wire and break a wire while I was doing the install. And literally all I had to do was go around and drive around the block. I'm not going to do that. I might be driving this tomorrow, but you know, maybe I can
talk them into driving this up tomorrow for Christmas Day. We're going to a relative's house, and maybe we can take this and not my mom's car. But there's a bunch of presents, so maybe not. Anyway, so yeah, this is Christmas Eve. But if I do drive this tomorrow, then maybe that should be plenty of miles to set the vehicle features. But otherwise, that's the install. Sorry I can't show you the displays, though I will try to show you before I upload this. But anyway. But yeah, it took me driving around the block for my remote start to start working. Anyway, that's it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.